everyone, welcome to Pakistani Profile. My guest for today is someone who had started his career at a very early age of just 13. He is currently the founder and president of Super Technologies, an entrepreneur who basically has an appetite of starting new businesses all the time. I have with me Rehan Allahwala. Hi Rehan.
Hi, thank you for
Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Thank you.
Right, Rehan, talking about your childhood, you started off your career at a very early age of just 13 when kids basically are in the process of choosing, rather thinking about what career should they pursue. So tell me about your childhood. How was that different from a normal person?
Well, I was not allowed to leave my home, and I was bored most of my time, so I wanted to do something with it. I bought a microscope, got tired of it in 3 months, and then a cousin of mine bought a computer, and I wanted to get one. So I got a computer, and then an opportunity came where I wanted to start exchanging games, and then the time came up where the games I had were larger quantity, nobody had them, so I started selling them. It was mostly fun. I never chose a career. It wasn't supposed to be a career.
So you made those games at that time?
No, we were selling games. We were copying games and selling them for other people.
So that eventually took you towards IT?
Something like that, but my career was supposed to be working with my dad. He is a paper and business person, and that's what I was supposed to do. This was just fun, and it was supposed to be just fun. It wasn't supposed to be work.
Right, and then how did it eventually turn into work?
Well, still didn't turn into work. Still fun. I think it's 23 years, 24 years, and it's still fun. I have never worked in my life. I don't see it as a work.
Okay. Rehan,
It just pays the bills.
You just pay the bill, right?
It just pays the bills. I mean, my hobby turned into my work, and I really don't work. I just enjoy whatever I feel like I should do. I had the liberty to have a rent-free home. I still live with my parents. I had the liberty of having a car, which was the petrol was paid by my dad. So maybe I had that liberty. So I could choose to do what I want. I never had passion for money. I still don't have passion for money. So mostly people work for money, and I just work for making a difference, making something different. I don't really care for money.
Okay, talking about making something different, what really do you mean? Because I hear a lot of people talking about making that difference.
Right. So when I was in class 9th, or maybe 10th, I made a voice digitizer for Commodore 64 computer. What that means is that at that time on a computer, you couldn't record anything. There was no voice as a human voice or a music voice at that time in computers. So there was a product, I just copied it and made it available for people to actually make it available for people to use it. And I started digitizing Quran on it. And my passion was Pakistan at that time, and I put Made in Pakistan on it. And that made me feel like $1 million. And the money I got was a loan from my dad, which I burned it all up. Because I had a box made for it. You can go and check out my website and see more. I have a museum online of all my products which I made and which I collected, the technology museum. So I have pictures of, I got a box design from an artist. I got, I had to do so much research on, and I was in ninth. I had to do research on how to make a plastic mold. A friend of mine leased a computer to me. It was an Amiga 500. That was a great thing. So he became my mentor, and he helped me. He said, go here, get some information, how do plastic molds become, how do you make all that? So I had to do a lot of learning. So I didn't go to university, but I did a lot of research on my own. And all that research comes into handy a lot of times.
And yours was more towards a practical research, like you could put everything in practical to use.
Yeah, I would actually go and eat people's head on how to do things instead of going to a book and reading about it, because most of the books you will find don't teach you how to do things in this country. They are not made for this country. If you find a book, they'll be made for the US. How to go to Radio Shack and buy stuff. Where is Radio Shack? There's no Radio Shack in Pakistan. How would I go and buy a resistor? How would I go and buy an IC? There's no book about it. So I had to go and learn it from people who had done it in the past. And I would go and make as many mistakes as I could, or as little mistakes as I could, getting information from them. And that is still my forte, and I believe in learning from people rather than books even today, because again, in Pakistan, there is no research or content available for Pakistani.
For your particular country.
Not just my Pakistan. I have started a million business project now. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create 1 million new businesses in the next 3 years. And I'm creating samosas, bun kebab, jalebi. It's nothing to do with technology. Nothing to do with technology, but the learning process is exactly the same. Is there a book which teaches you how to start a bun kebab shop? No. I have never heard of it. Please, if somebody has, let me have it. So what we're doing is we're going out and interviewing 500 samosa walas, 500 bun kebab walas, 500 jalebi walas. And in the end, what we will get from them is knowledge. How did they start? How did they end up into fresco or whatever? And all that content is on a YouTube format, video format, and we're putting it on YouTube.
So
anybody can have it, number one. Number two, we get one tip from one person, which makes us $1, 100 rupees. We have 500 tips from 500 samosa walas that makes us $500 a month. So we have 500 tips which anybody else can do differently, which will help us make a business which can be started in only 10,000 rupees and make 30,000 to 40,000 a month as net profit. This is our core way of how we can achieve it. It sounds really crazy, but it actually works. It has worked for me all my life, and I'm doing the same thing again. So not just that, I have even went beyond that. I have started to work on a project for airline. I've started working on a project for banking. So there's a rehanbank.com, there's a rehanair.com, there is a rehantextiles.com, and all these sites. rehanwater.com, roti.com, samosa. We're putting knowledge together in these domains. So anybody who wants to start
and
that
in all
business.
fields.
In most of the fields where we think there's need for change, a need for difference. So you asked, the question was, how do you make a difference? You make a difference because 4 billion people in this world make less than $40 a month. Unless somebody goes out and does something totally different, the results will be the same. So I'm trying to harness the technologies available today to me, including YouTube, including Google, including the internet, putting it all together. And these are my pen and paper. I don't believe in pen and paper anymore. My camera is my pen. My YouTube channel is my paper, and you can and I'm putting it all together on portals. So if you're in airline industry, you can just go there and get research done, which would cost you millions of dollars to do research. We are doing it all for free on a volunteerism basis. However, I will monetize it one day when I feel that I have the team to start the business. See, starting a business has nothing to